Hello, I am Shae Spitz with Business Unscripted, and I am here with Mikaela with iDance Studios. Is it
Mhm.
iDance Studios or
iDance
just iDance?
project.
Oh, iDance Project.
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you for being here.
Mhm.
We'll kind of talk a little bit about your business and what what got you started with iDance, and are you from Columbus?
I'm originally from Valley, which is
Oh,
about an hour from here. I grew up there. I danced in Elkhorn. I danced from the age of 2, went to college at UNO, danced on their dance team, and as well as Omaha Beef. And after college, I was just looking for more teaching opportunities because I really liked teaching kids and teaching my passion with dance. And I know a lot of studio owners in Omaha and the Omaha area. There's about 90 studios in Omaha.
oh my gosh.
So I didn't really want to compete with them. So I was looking elsewhere on where they could benefit from another dance studio. And so originally I was thinking Norfolk, but I ended up here in Columbus. I just took the opportunity. I saw that there was a need, and we started with 75 students our first year, and we are about 315 right now. So,
Oh my gosh.
so we
So where did you start out then? Like what facility did you?
we've moved 3 times, so or twice, I should say. We were originally downtown, um, across from the fire museum
Yep.
on 13th Street and or 13th Avenue, I should say. And then we moved to the Hobby Lobby area, and then now we're by like Sears and Goodwill,
Oh, okay.
the strip
Yes.
mall. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
my husband said I can't move anymore. So
So did you meet your husband and that's kind of what established
yeah.
grounds here?
Not really. I met him afterwards.
Oh,
So yeah, like I said, I just saw a need for another dance studio, and I just took the chance, and so here I am.
yeah. And how old were you when you started it?
Uh 26, I think.
Okay. Okay.
So,
So
yeah.
you're 26 when you started and you said
Mhm.
you've been doing this for about 12 years.
Yeah.
What was when you first were opening or decided to open, what was the biggest hurdle for you?
Money.
Yeah.
I was meeting with banks, and they just didn't really see getting a loan in general for any small business is hard.
Hmm.
And after being in business for a long time too, I was the third or the second time we were moving, I wanted to look in a building, but even that is very expensive because you got to put 20% down, and that's a
Hmm.
lot of money for a small business.
Hmm.
So I ended up like cashing in my IRA. I know that's not the ideal thing, but that's what I had to do. And I maxed out all my credit cards, and I made it work. So,
That's awesome. I
yeah,
mean, that's impressive. I should say, I mean, it is awesome
yeah,
because I don't think people realize the struggle that small business owners, especially getting started out,
mm-hmm,
how much they struggle. You
yeah,
know, people see people who own a business like, oh, you must have money, or
mm-hmm,
that must have been easy, or somebody must have given you money. No,
yeah,
you have to really stick your neck out there and take a huge risk.
mm-hmm.
And how do you feel you've done since then? And are you glad that you took those chances?
Yeah, my first year was very rough, just because I had my car was breaking down, and then we had high utility bills 'cause we were in an old building, and I was barely making money to pay myself, and you know, I just kept saying it's gonna get better, and so I'm just gonna keep putting all my heart and soul into the studio, and then the following year we doubled in students, and I was able to start taking more of an income in to my house, I should say, to pay
Hmm.
bills. And so 12 years later, I mean, it's definitely been hard, but it's
Hmm.
been worth it.
Hmm. And do you have employees then?
We have 8 employees.
Eight
So
employees.
yeah,
Are they full time or part
my
time?
brother, he is the associate director. He's full time, and then my mom is my front desk manager, so she is pretty much full time too. And the others are part time. We have Holden, who drives from Omaha on Tuesdays, and he comes and
Wow.
teach. So he's been teaching for us the last 4 years, and
Wow.
others are just former students
Hmm.
from iDance. So yeah.
Wow. That's awesome. That is awesome. So, what do you feel made the biggest difference in your business when it came to growing it?
Just being true to myself, just just putting ourselves out there, because every business is different. I always say there's 2 other dance studios in town, and we all offer different things. And, um, we just really try to focus on the kids and just sharing our passion with dance and just doing our own thing.
Mhm, mhm.
Hmm.
And how many students do you have now?
About 315.
315.
Yep.
And do you do classes all day or is it just evenings or
So we have Sunday night rehearsals with our competition team, and then we do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and those are all like from 4 to 9 p.m.
oh wow.
So all 3
Wow.
studios.
Wow. And you
Hmm.
have kids of your own?
Yeah, I have a stepson who's 15 and a 2-year-old and a 6-month old.
Oh my goodness.
So
Oh my gosh. So
we're
you're
busy.
busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially in the evenings because I know what it's like to bath night and because is it at you're in a studio, so then are
Hmm.
you there until about 9 o'clock at night?
I work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm there before, like, at 1 o'clock
Yeah.
until, like,
Yeah.
9 or 10,
Yeah.
so and then my husband takes care of the kids on Monday, Tuesday,
Mhm.
Wednesdays, and then I'm home the rest of the week, so
Oh, that's nice though.
yeah.
So you can kind of
Mhm.
swap it out a little bit here and
Yeah.
there. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's awesome. And what do you think? How did COVID affect you guys?
Ugh, it was hard. It was very hard, because my personally wise, because my son, Marcus, who's 2 now, he was just having open heart surgery when that all happened,
Oh my.
and then so I felt such a weight on me because my brother works for me full time, and then my mom too. Um, and then my employees is just keeping them, employed and trying to keep the studio alive. We just moved into our new facility, and my rent was more expensive. And not being able to see the kids. And I was hearing like how kids were being affected by it too. It was very hard. And so we were shut down for 3 months, almost 3 months, and we opened back up in June of 2019. It was very small. We probably had about
2020.
yeah, 2020. Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, so we had about 100 students for the summer, and then we were able to start fall classes back up late in August, and we had about 260 kids come back.
Hmm.
But before COVID, we were pushing over 400.
Oh
So it
gosh.
was a big it was hard, but you know, it was kind of a blessing though because at the before COVID, I felt like we were getting too big
Yeah.
and I didn't care for that. Like
Hmm.
I didn't know a lot of people and I still don't know everybody, but I know their faces
Hmm.
and it's cuz I don't teach all of them.
Hmm.
Um so I felt like it was a blessing too at the same time and it made me really realize why I'm doing what I'm doing. So
Hmm. Yeah. So you were shut down completely for 3 months.
we did online classes for a
Okay.
month and we really did not like that. So it was just
It was a struggle. People
yeah.
probably weren't either showing up or nobody was participating. You
Mhm.
couldn't. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
that is tough. That is
So
very tough. So then you opened back up after 3 months and then, you still had 100
mhm.
students, but not near what you had.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of small businesses were really impacted during
Yeah.
all of that
I'm
time.
I'm very grateful that we're still able to have our doors open because I know several studio owners across the country that had to shut down for good.
Hmm.
So I was able to get a grant and small business to help pay.
Yeah.
But I really am grateful for the community for the kids that did come back and to help keep our doors open because it was mainly to keep the kids moving and keep their mentality going because it was really hard on a lot of the kids,
Yes.
especially when they came back. They didn't know how to socialize when they
Hmm.
and before I couldn't get them to be quiet and then they were very reserved when they
Yeah.
came back. So
Heartbreaking, I'm
yeah.
sure, for you though too.
Mhm. Yeah.
I know. You definitely saw a change. Even, they had to be home for
Mhm.
parents too. Oh my gosh, the mentality
Yeah.
for the parents, the kids being home constantly, having to get out
Mhm.
of school early and not knowing what was going to happen that following year for school and even just having the kids wearing a mask. That's
Mhm.
that's tough on them
Yeah,
too.
we had to wear a
So,
mask for a while too. So I mean, at the studio, but we're past that, and
Mhm.
we're thriving now.
Have you made any changes with your studio since COVID happened? I mean, do you feel that COVID was a you said it was kind of a blessing in disguise just because you were getting almost too big, but
Mhm.
now you're back up to 314, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So, yeah, I mean, when COVID happened, we didn't have our spring recital. And that was really heartbreaking because we had all of our costumes and we didn't even have a place to have our recital. And
Mhm.
so, I met with my team and I was like, I really want to do this holiday show because I want to get the kids to be able to perform more. We have these costumes, and so we planned this holiday show this last December, and part of the proceeds went to a nonprofit, Center for Survivors. And then the studio matched it, so we ended up donating $3,000. So I really want to continue that going forward
Mhm.
because it's a more performance opportunity for the kids,
Mhm.
instead of just doing their one big show in the spring.
Mhm.
And then maybe switch up the nonprofit every year.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So what got you thinking to do that? Because that's kind of my biggest I love nonprofit organizations and small business
Hmm.
owners. So you obviously kind of
Yeah.
combine the two. So what made you think of it? And then how did you choose the nonprofit organization?
Well, I like, again, I'm so thankful for the community for being able to reopen and continue my business. Um, you know, so I just was like, I really think that we should do something for our community. And so why not do a performance and then help raise money for a local charity
Mhm.
or nonprofit? And so my teachers were like, "Okay, let's do it." And at first, some of them were like, "I don't know if I want to listen to Christmas music in September." I was like,
To
"We'll be
start
fine."
preparing?
Yeah.
Oh,
So I
yeah.
was like, "We'll be fine." We ended up having a blast, and even the kids, like, it just wasn't as stressful as our normal
Yeah.
recital in spring. And
Mhm.
once they realized, because nobody knew how much money I was donating to the nonprofit until I announced it right before the show. So they were all really excited to hear the amount that we were able to raise.
Yeah.
And so I picked Center for Survivors because Abby Tessendorf is a dance mom.
Yeah.
And so I was like, "Hey, this is our first time doing this. I Can we use you as a guinea pig and like donate money to you guys?" And she's like, "Sure." So yeah, I think from going forward, we're just gonna probably start an application process of like
Yeah.
um, from these nonprofits, like, "Hey, if we were to choose you for this holiday show, what would you use the money for?"
Mhm.
And that way we can help narrow down who we want to use next.
Yes. Yeah. So how was the funding structured, or how did you get
So
funding?
part of the proceeds, it was like $1.25 from the ticket sales went
Oh,
to
okay.
the nonprofit, and then again, like I said, the studio matched it because I was feeling extra grateful. So
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
just wanted to donate even more money.
Yeah. So, I mean, did you ask parents if they wanted to donate or anything like that?
No, I just said it. Part of the proceeds from tickets were going to be donated,
Mhm.
and they all thought it was a great idea.
That's awesome.
Hmm.
That is, and you were able to raise $1,500
Uh
just
huh.
from
Ticket sales.
wow. So
Hmm.
that's a lot of tickets
Yeah.
still. I mean, that's
Yeah, we
a
had
thousand.
about 1,000 people for the
Wow.
show.
And
Yeah,
where was this hosted at?
at the middle school.
Okay.
Hmm.
Oh my gosh. So
Yeah.
probably, I'm assuming people from the community who don't even have kids who were attending, they were probably buying tickets or grant for
Yeah.
their grandkids or whatnot.
Yeah,
That's
we had about
amazing.
280 people, or 280 kids in the show, so it was pretty big.
Wow.
A lot of people had families involved that
Yeah.
were traveling and showed up for the show. So
That's really cool, especially a little bit little bit less stressful for you though too,
yeah. Hmm.
and for the kids. So that's really cool, and I definitely am looking forward to see who you're going to be sponsoring this next year. What
Yeah.
you guys do? Do you
Hmm.
want to? Are you going to plan to keep it at the middle school then?
Yeah, that's the only auditorium that we're able to use because it seats about 1,300 people, so that way we
Oh,
can fit everybody.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, absolutely. So as a business owner, what would you say to somebody who's listening here, or encourage them to do if they're thinking about starting their own because you had some hurdles coming into this, and you
Mhm.
were told probably that you are not going to be able to succeed or be
Yeah.
successful. How did
Mhm.
that? Who said that to you? And I mean, not necessarily names, but
Yeah.
and who? How did that affect you?
Um, you know, I listen to my gut a lot.
Hmm.
Um, so my gut was telling me go for it. And so when I was first opening and trying to get money, I had the bank telling me that there's two other dance studios that were very successful and that I wouldn't succeed. I even had a local business owner tell me the same thing. So I just used that fuel to prove them wrong. So
Absolutely. That's my favorite. I
yeah.
love when people doubt you, for me anyway,
Yeah.
because then you can, like you said, you use that for fuel and
Mhm.
it's just a fire under your butt and
Yeah.
you get
Mhm.
going and you're there to prove them wrong. Not only them, but to prove to yourself that you
Yeah.
can do it.
Yeah. So I mean, it's definitely hard, but now I'm at the point where I can take if I say I need this day off to go take care of the kids, I usually can have my classes covered and
Hmm.
my mom manages the front desk and so I'm I yeah, it's been very hard, but it's definitely well worth it in the long
Hmm.
run.
Hmm.
Mhm.
They always say it usually takes 5 and possibly even to 10 years to be able to get to the point where you can almost start stepping away here
Yeah.
and there.
Mhm.
And that's really the ultimate point in owning your own business and being an entrepreneur, but it does take that grit and that grind for many, many, many years to be able to get to that level.
Yeah.
It's a lot of hard work, a lot of time, a lot of commitment to be able to leverage your time once you get to that level.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely worth it. It's just
Mhm.
interacting, I'm sure, with the parents and the kids and getting to know other people in the community.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about
Mhm.
being part of like an entrepreneur and self-employed for
Yeah.
the most part.
Yep.
So, well, I
Mhm.
appreciate you coming on and talking to me about this. If anybody
Yeah.
is interested or listening to this podcast and they want to get involved with your dance studio,
Mhm.
what can they do to reach out?
They can go to our website www.idanceprojectpac.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you have a phone number
Yep. 402-606-4695.
and an email address at all?
idanceproject@gmail.com.
Okay, and you're located over by the Goodwill,
And Sears.
Sears
Yeah.
area, and you
Mhm.
just moved like 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I remember that. Okay,
Mhm.
sounds good. Well, I appreciate you coming in,
Yeah.
and thank you for coming.
All right. Thank you.
Awesome.